Hello. Have you ever wondered what the cost of yard service is here in Phoenix, Arizona? Well, that's what this video is about. I'm going to put together a video here and summarize basically what's included and what are the breakdowns of cost and what yard service should cost here in the valley. It obviously covers things like the size of the lot, how many plants and shrubs are on the property, and there's a lot of other overhead costs and other items that people probably aren't aware of that I want to put together on a blog and also in this video. There's a few things that I want to make sure that we talk about when you're hiring a landscaper. And the first thing is to make sure that they carry insurance. There's two types of insurance that are really important, and it's your business liability insurance. This covers things like broken glass, any damage to the property or persons on the property, and also the workers' comp insurance. Now, this is real important because if an employee of the landscape company gets hurt on your property, you can be found liable for their injuries with your homeowner's policy. So these are two very important policies you want to make sure that you have with your landscaper. Also, another important thing is to make sure that they're licensed. When a landscaper is licensed, and they're doing work that's above $1,000 worth of repairs or any type of installation work, you're protected with the registered contractors. You want to make sure they're licensed with the state of Arizona, the registered contractors. And also, it's important that all the employees are legal to work here in the U.S. and that are getting paid properly through a proper payroll system, a W-2 that's that's another way to make sure they carry workers' comp. Usually is a good sign that they are covered properly with workers' comp because that's how you pay workers' comp, is through a payroll company when you W-2 an employee. Those are real important things. Also, you want to make sure that the landscaper's trained. All of our landscapers, the landscape supervisors, are all trained through the SmartScape program out of the Arizona Water Users Association through the University of Arizona Cooperative Extension. We think that's important because the proper way of pruning and tree trimming and lawn service, all that is important to have. Now, a lot of times we try to fill the needs of our clients, even when they necessarily are conflicting those requirements, but at least we know the proper way, and we can at least let our clients know that before they make the decision whether or not to move forward with how they want the service to be done on a regular basis. Now I want to get into the actual cost of the services and what's included and what our costs are that need to be passed on to our clients. The first cost is equipment and supply costs. These are the equipment we use, like the mowers, the blowers, the hedge trimmers, the line trimmers, the backpack sprayers, backpack blowers, rakes, shovels, supplies for repairs to your sprinkler system, that sort of thing. And I'll be sure to add a link to the blog. We actually break down the cost of all these items based off of a half hour of work for a landscaper, so you kind of have an idea of what our costs are for each phase of the business. The next thing is the truck, trailer, and fuel cost. Obviously, trucks are going to run, right now I'm buying used trucks for between $15,000 and $20,000, and trailers run about $4,000 or $5,000, and then fuel cost, of course, are a major aspect because we're not just using fuel in the truck, we're also using fuel in all the equipment of the landscape equipment. And then with your two-cycle equipment, we actually have to mix it with oil, so it's even more costly than your typical fuel. The next cost, of course, our largest cost is labor cost. Now, labor cost represents about 35% of our cost, our direct labor cost. So for every hour spent on site or half hour spent or however long they spend on the property, it's incurring cost much more quickly. So labor is a big thing that we look out for, and that we base our rates are off labor rates, really. So, and then insurance costs, which is kind of along with overhead costs. Overhead costs can be also someone answering the phones at the office, the rent for the office, the storage facility for all the equipment afterward, the cell phone service, the telephones at the office, the internet, all that, just regular stuff for any business that they're gonna need for operations like advertising and that sort of thing. And of course, the last thing is profit. If a landscape company isn't profitable, they're probably not gonna show up after a while. You can only run a business not profitable for so long. Eventually, if you're not at least at a 10% profit margin, they say, I think at 5%, you're just one crisis away of going out of business. And once you can't make your payroll, you pretty much don't have a business. So it's important that your landscape company is profitable, because you want them to continue to show up. They get familiar with your property, they know your home, and if they're profitable, they're doing well, they're gonna keep coming back, they're gonna continue to take care of you. So those are real important items in the cost of service for your property here in Phoenix. So in closing, I really wanna talk about the importance of making sure that you hire somebody that's gonna continue to come back. I hear a lot that, my landscaper just stopped showing up. And I always think to myself, I wonder, if they were being financially responsible with their company and hiring the right people and making sure they had the proper insurance, so that they could run a responsible company and continue to come back over and over again. It's not like getting a good deal on a car and, once you're done, you're done. Having somebody continually come over to your home and service on a weekly or every 2 week or every 4 week basis, you want them to continue to come back, and you want them to provide a good value, a good service for you over and over again throughout the years, so you're not having to hire somebody later. So the importance of finding somebody that's financially responsible with their landscape company and they're running a good company, hiring good team people, team members, people that are trained, people that have experience in the industry, that know the proper way of pruning, and also know what to look for, also know how to adjust irrigation and that sort of thing. And you should always be a little skeptical if the price is a little too low. Because in the beginning it's always easy to make a client happy by going above and beyond, because any landscape company will usually lose money in the beginning just to make things right, especially to make sure they build a good reputation with their client in the beginning. But over time, if they're not profitable over time, they're going to start cutting corners, and that's when you hear a lot of these companies get the reputation of having a mow and blow type of service where they're in and out. So if you're looking for something a little more thorough, be sure you ask these kind of questions. What's included in the service, what's to be expected, and also look online, check out their reputation online through Yelp, the Better Business Bureau, Angie's List. Check the register of contractors to make sure they're licensed. And usually a reputable company will be able to carry a good reputation online. So if you have any other questions, I'll be sure to put a link to the full blog that I put together about this video on my website at azlawns.blog. Also, please subscribe to our YouTube page at AMS Landscaping and subscribe to our Facebook page at AMS Landscaping. And if you see this video online somewhere, please share it and let your friends know. Thanks so much, and make it a great day.